Oh, regret.
And everyone can hear me. Hello, everyone. Stupid update. It is us, the Thirsty Crew. Welcome to another episode of Dragon Age Search for Enders. I am Simon at Wandering DM. Before we go and meet our incredible cast with new art, we are, first of all, going to thank our sponsors, beginning with Magen Press, the makers of 5th edition, the 5th edition D&D campaign setting called Dark Matter. You can check them out at store.magenpress.com or use the panels down below. They are currently running a Kickstarter for their introductory adventure called Conspiracy in the Stars, which some of us around the table have been working on. So be sure to check that out. And since they've already been funded, it's just a whole bunch of stretch goals and goodies like level up dice set, wormwood cases, and bunch of other stuff just for you. So you might want to check that out. Hi, new person. And our other sponsor is, of course, Found Familiar, a great coffee company. You should check them out, foundfamiliar.com. Also, if you use code WanderingDM, you get 10% off your coffee order. Up next is Roll20, the virtual tabletop that we use here for all of our games on Wandering DM. It is where you can see the pretty pictures that Tanya found for our overlay. And you can check them out at roll20.net. Lastly is our partners through the Diceomancy program. Level Up Dice, we have reached, thanks to all of you and all of your clicks on the link, and all of you who bought dice sets, we are now level 2 in Diceomancy, which means that we have a bunch of special Level Up Dice branded dice that will be up for giveaway soon. So as soon as I receive them, as soon as they make it through the cold northern border, I will tweet about it and we'll have a bunch of giveaways. Without further ado, let's go around the table, introduce our cast. I, myself, am playing Aiden, the mage, whose character sheet is not ready at the moment. And he's a simple person who likes simple things. And next is Deirdre.
Oh, hey, y'all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter. Praxora says me for is a senior on Twitch. And I get to play Verusa, Dalish elf, sneaky stabby bitch, who is totally okay at the moment with her keeper missing and having to explain to Fenris that we lost his current boyfriend, but we brought back his ex-boyfriend.
That works. We are missing a Bastien for now. He will be there in maybe 20 to 30 minutes, so we'll introduce him when he arrives. Up next is Kelly.
Sorry. I was negotiating for alcoholic drinks from Urban Bohemian in chat. Hi, I'm Kelly, the opera geek. I play Mavia, who is everyone's favorite bacon-eating dwarf who has no idea what's going on and is just along for the ride and hopefully not going to get herself killed at some point. Doing something dumb.
And last but certainly not least amongst our players is Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe James Games. Afton is both excited to be somewhere new and a little nervous because there's all these people and they finally found this person the group was looking for, but we're not sure exactly why they wanted to find them, because what happens now? Are they going to kill him? Are they going to talk to him? Are they going to eat them? Like he's got a lot of anything is possible. Anything is possible, especially with like Mavia, like anything can happen. She might feed him something and then he starts turning into a demon because of Mavia's demon cleansing trail snacks.
They cleanse demons?
I would neither Gabe nor Aston would be shocked, to be honest.
I mean, I don't even know what's in those things. I haven't actually thought that one out yet.
That's all for Gabe.
Maybe they're like edibles, and I'm just like passing out edibles to everybody.
So we weren't really lost in a field of alluvians. We were just
Nope.
in a hall of mirror at the local fair.
So wait, does Mavia have like the snacks like that dude on Twitter that claimed he'd smoked like 500 or took 500 milligrams of edibles, and like 3 days later was tweeting about how high he still was?
That guy sounds very dumb, but
I don't know him. I just saw it on Twitter and I was like, how are you not dead?
Yeah, no, maybe it's not that. But I mean, she probably put something to distract herself from the horrors of her everyday life in her trail snacks, because the bourbon runs out eventually, but the trail snacks can last.
And that's why I've got an opaque cup this week.
Oh yes, opaque cups for the win. This is totally only tea, everybody.
How are you all not drinking good found familiar coffee?
Because it's in the cabinet.
Because it's like 7:30 for me, so I would like to sleep.
Speaking of wanting to sleep, that's a weird segue. I don't know how to seg into that. But Tanya, hi, welcome again.
Hi. Hi, I am your DM, Tanya, who's playing all of your NPCs this evening. And I realized shortly before we go live, we may wind up with me talking to myself again, depending on who talks to who and when. But yes, we have found Anders. He's still unconscious. And Fenris has his reasons for wanting him to be found. We may find those out tonight. We may not. Who knows? But for now, why don't we give a recap? Because it's been a couple weeks since we had an episode. Mostly my own fault because I do too many things on evenings. So what happened last time for the benefit of viewers and for your GM?
Let's see here. We saw some Bibba dragons, which that actually didn't impact the story at all, but I just liked it. So we saw some Bibba dragons. Whoa, I just forgot Simon's character's name all of a sudden.
Aiden.
I was like, Harold? No, Aiden. Aiden got a tacit threat from Mavia that seemed to surprise him, and then he was very quiet for the rest of the way. And then we found our way out to Anders, who was like very bad with blood loss from Prax's arrow.
Yes. Prax shot true. So what did Verisa wind up doing beside us snagging our quarry?
Butchering giant animals in the crossroads of the Alluvians and keeping watch on other people, and that was about it. Oh, also, coming across when we got back, there was saying hi to Zevran and then trying to prepare to explain, hi Fenris, we found your quarry Anders, your ex-boyfriend, but we may have lost your current boyfriend, Harold.
Yeah, that conversation's gonna be fun.
She'll be fine. And apparently Verisa just intimidated a bunch of people because everyone kept saying, all these new people kept saying that Verisa is scary, and she's like, I don't know why. I didn't threaten anyone.
We've met you, Verisa.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Touche. And
Like,
what
she
did
hasn't killed anything except an animal in your presence.
Fair. Aiden and Athson, what did you get up to last time?
Aiden saw baby wyverns, which were delightful. He roused the party from their slumber because they told him, if you see something, let us know. So he did, dutifully. And then had a conversation with Mavia that ended in jests slash threats.
Were they though?
I don't know.
And it's up to you which one of those things I'm questioning.
But yeah, otherwise, Aiden stayed mostly quiet. There was a little bit of prying into who he was, but nothing too probing. He is still just following this party that now, thanks to Atsen, got him out of the Illuvian field, back onto Thetis.
And Aston had he ended up having a little bit of a closer conversation with Bastion and Mavia. And then not far after twice.
Oh, I held hands with Athen. I forgot that part.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
I was gonna forget that, but you know what? Oh, the face was worth it. And then it was like surprise and intrigue of the camp after they came out, because there were a lot more people gathered together than he expected. And then I think it was also gauging how important these people actually are, or like they actually might be. Like he saw them in the Illuvians, and he was thinking more so that like maybe they were just lost, but then maybe these people have a lot more capability than he expected, and not even like in a downplaying way, just like thinking someone's decent and then expecting and then seeing that there's probably more to them than he thought.
Okay. All right. With all of that in mind, are you ready for some uncomfortable conversations and trying to figure out where we've lost current lovers in Fields of Mirrors? All right. So, as you all pull up, you're not in a car or a vehicle, you're not riding anything. You are, going through the scene that you see before you. The camp is further out, a little bit out of eye shot. And maybe, I believe you were going to like flying tackle Fenris. You were going to try to.
No, not Fenris. Are you crazy?
Oh, then who are you going to try to tackle?
Iron Bull.
Okay, look.
It's worse.
Listen. You sent me a clip earlier, who has never played the game, of Fenris sticking his hand through someone's chest. I'm not tackling him. Heck.
Yeah, I mean, just so you knew who you were dealing with.
No, Mavia would have been very excited to see Bull, especially if he was still wearing his hair doodly bits that she gave him on his horn. So she would have run up and flying tackled him, or at least attempted to.
So, unfortunately, Bull moved because he didn't know you were coming. And Mavia falls and hits her head on a rock. And she's more than a little discombobulated.
Yeah. That's my last 36 hours.
Look, I'm trying to work this into the...
I know. It's great. It's much better than having a fight with my nightstand, I'll tell you that.
I mean, maybe it could have fallen off a bed in Skyhold. I mean,
it's true.
You complained about how tall they were.
They were.
So
I hit my head on a rock. Yep.
So you're going to be... Bull is going to hear you land and your startled cry of, oh, fuck, when you hit the ground. What do you do when Bull comes over to try to help you?
She would look up at him, and she's got those the big eyes, like the Puss in Boots eyes, and she's just looking at him, and she's like, "Why did you move?"
I didn't know you were behind me. Make noise. You are a third of my size. You have to make noise, maybe. You're too quiet for your own good.
I have never ever been accused of being quiet.
You need... I can't. You're going to make me start laughing. So Bull, takes out a handkerchief and, starts dabbing her face because it's like a head wound. She's bleeding.
Everywhere.
So he just, gently picks her up and takes her off to a medical tent for a little bit.
I bet that if there were camera phones in this world, he would have let me take a picture of it to send my mom. But anyway.
No, he would have been more concerned with getting you cleaned up. Oh my god. So maybe it's gonna be off of the medical tent for a little bit. So the rest of you, Barista, because Anders is unconscious, who's carrying him?
He's on Bastion's glaive, and Bastion and
Aiden,
Aiden
we were
carrying
carrying the pole arm with him attached to it.
Okay, so
Slung underneath
you're
it.
and Barista, you're leading them and you're looking around for Fenris. And you spot him come out of the tent because Bull is no longer keeping him in this tent. And he pops out. He's like ready to fight someone. And then he sees you, Varisa. And then he notices these two people. One he recognizes, and one he's like, who is this guy? But then he also realizes, oh, you found Anders. And he's looking at you for an explanation since you're the first person he saw.
She kind of glances at the sun and kind of gauges the position. Afternoon?
It is an afternoon. I see you found Anders.
There. Yes, we found Anders, just as you instructed. He's a little bit bleeding. You might want to have somebody look at that if you want him alive.
Alive is fine. He gestures to Bastion, and then he looks at Aiden. Wait, who's this? You came back with an extra person?
Aiden Athson.
Mm-hmm.
Crossroads, mirrors, magic.
Hello,
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Aiden.
I'm Athson.
So Marisa said, and he's looking around, and he just he waves Bastion, and he looks at you, Aiden. Medical tent is that way. Have him seen to and put under guard. And then he turns back to Marisa and looks around, and is like, you're missing a couple people?
Yeah, we all came out of the mirror in the same place, and they weren't there. And since they went right after Anders, the only person who would know the answer would be Anders.
And he's unconscious.
Yes.
Did you look for Harold or Zelanis?
Yes. There are lots of mirrors, and I was definitely looking for both my keeper and your warden.
All right.
We followed a trail of Anders' blood to follow, so we had an idea, but he had gone through a couple mirrors at that point, so we were chasing things out to see if maybe... But... Inquisitor, I am not a mage. I'm a hunter.
I know.
Of men and others.
As evidenced by the fact that you caught Anders. Very well, then. If you wouldn't mind, let Zevran know that you're back, and I'll need him to send some messages. I'll be in the medical tent.
Crap. Oh, Mavia has some of Anders' personal effects on her.
Where is she?
Right? Who has the pillow?
Oh, I do have the pillow. Yes, I did.
I was
take
like, yeah,
that.
Mavia has the pillow.
Yep.
She's in the medical tent. She had a small accident upon our return.
A small accident.
Are you saying that because I'm a dwarf? That's rude.
No, she's trying to downplay the whole thing, but you know. Well, in this particular case, Bull moved and she met the ground quite forcefully.
All right. Fenris is trying very hard not to freak out. So quickly out of character, is Hawk there or did Hawk stay back at Skyhold?
Hawk stayed at
Yeah, Hawk stayed at Skyhold, I think. I don't remember.
Zevran, Bull, and Fenris were the ones that were accompanying us.
Right.
Okay, and everyone else.
The Bard guy and Hawk stayed at the
Bard.
Varric.
Varric.
Yes.
And Dorian is at the... Because right now, you could probably use a mage, and the only one you've got is unconscious and useless. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I keep forgetting you're a mage. I'm sorry.
And Gabe is a mage.
And Athson.
Yeah.
Athson is there, but also Fenris doesn't know who Athson is, so I know he's a mage.
That's true.
Fenris doesn't know who you are. All he knows is you came back with two strange people, and two of the people that he hired didn't come with you. One of which he was banging. So now he's like, I can't. I left you all. You left my side piece. You left my ass in the.
Yes.
Also, Aiden and Athson both have some capacity for magic, more than I'm aware of. Also, and she'd kind of lean forward and kind of look around. Did Aiden left to go to the medical tent, right?
To bring Anders. Yeah.
Is Athson still here? Verisa kind of gets a little closer to Fenris and says, and I think Aiden has spent a few extra decades in the Crossroads.
I'm sorry, what?
He was concerned about who the Inquisitor was. And he'd never seen that. As she kind of points up to the big glowing green thing in the sky.
Well, to be fair, none of us saw it before it appeared.
In this case, he was convinced that the Inquisitor, was someone named with an A that Deirdre can't remember at the moment.
Hold on. Keep talking. I will look it up.
And he's from north of... He was concerned about the Circle, hadn't heard about Kirkwall, hadn't heard about anything that came out of that.
You mean Inquisitor Ameridan?
Yes, Ameridan.
Well, he was an elf. And so Fenris stops. He starts doing like some math on his fingers, and he looks at like back where Aiden walked off, and he looks at you. He's like, "That's not possible. He shouldn't be alive."
Yes, I agree, Inquisitor.
So the Crossroads is supposed to do many things, and maybe keeping a random person alive that wandered in for far past his time isn't something we should be surprised at. Maybe it's like the Fade, where time passes strangely.
Out of curiosity, how long exactly were we gone?
About a week.
Okay, because for us it was like less than 24 hours. So we'll go with time passing strangely.
Yes. All right, well, make sure that you rest and get food, and we can convene later to talk about Anders and what to do about Harold and Zelanis. I don't want to leave this place without them, but we really can't keep Anders imprisoned in a tent either. We're not set up to hold him here. We may have to leave people here to keep watch on the Illuvian in case they find their way out.
Of course, Inquisitor. I'll let Severin know.
All right, well, good job. Thank you. So he heads off toward the medical tent, and while he's off to do that, do you go find Zevran and then Mavia and Bull? Also, Aiden and Aston, what are you doing? Well, Aiden, you're in the medical tent. Aston, what are you doing?
Just listening, trying to gauge who is in charge in this area, basically.
Okay.
But then also, so Anders is the one that they brought back.
Correct. He is the one that was unconscious and was lashed to
Yeah.
The glaive that Aiden and Bastian brought back.
I think he's gonna wait until it's settled before he goes over to Anders and probably try to time it like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go check on Anders. Oh, I think I'll join you. That kind of thing.
Yeah, right now Fenris wouldn't let a strange person come with him anyway.
Yeah.
But are you now that you have met the Inquisitor, sort of?
Mhm.
Is there anything you want to do, or are you gonna like kind of trail around with Verisa? What is it that you'd like to do?
I think he's actually gonna try to trail around Aiden.
Okay, so you are following Aiden to the medical tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Aiden has been gone for years, so it's an easy way for Aston to feel less like an outsider around people that he doesn't know.
Okay. All right, that's fair. So you are making your way to the medical tent. I mean, it's not going to be hard to find them because everyone's kind of giving them a wide berth of these two strange people carrying a tall, lanky mage, unconscious man between them. Because at this point, Anders, you can tell he's been on the run. He looks bedraggled, etc. So yeah. So you are following Aiden, and hello, Andrew. We have a Bastian.
We have a Bastion, which means that I need to
Hey.
kick the fake Bastion out.
Get rid of them.
But Fake Bastion was doing such a good job at roleplay.
Wow. Wow.
I feel like there was a. Oh, Kelly, I love you.
Wow.
I want to put that out there.
No.
Wow. Welcome. So, Bastian, you and Aiden have taken Anders to the medical tent per Fenris's order, and Aston is following behind. Mavia tried to tackle Hug Bull and missed. So, Bull and Mavia are also in the medical tent. So, question: do you want to, Barista? Do you want to try to talk to Zevran now, or do you want to kind of see what's happening in the medical tent first?
I mean, Fenris told her to go find Zevran and let him know what was going on.
All right, so
and then
we're
come back to the medical tent. So
okay. We're going to switch to the Verisa and Zevran map, and we're going to see what you two get into. So, Verisa, how do you find Sir Zevran?
with skill and ability in hunting down those that she wants to see. And sneaky, probably intentionally. Like, she starts off, but the minute she breaks the tree line, she starts stealthing because now it's just natural to do so, but also a kind of level of they're still playing who's the better killer kind of game. So
Okay. So Zevran knows that you're pursuing him. I mean, he's not Master of the Crows for nothing, or the Inquisition Spy Master. So he leads you on a merry chase toward the area that you're seeing now. And he just waits at that stone pillar, that broken one, for you, and waits to see what you're going to do.
she probably comes up knowing that it's one of those knowing that he knows that she's there. She's just going to come out and just kind of lean against the pillar and give him that half smirk, half smile kind of thing.
You found me.
Well, you weren't hiding very hard.
No, I knew you were back, and I mean, our dear Inquisitor's not very quiet, especially when he's distressed. So I knew you were seeking me out.
Yes. Well. So do you want the reasons that the Inquisitor wishes me to seek you out, or the reasons that I would like to seek you out?
Business first and pleasure, hopefully.
A fair arrangement. So, upside, we found Anders.
The downside.
We're missing a Herald and a Zalanis.
Oh. Well, you can't be happy about Solanas being missing.
No, it is mildly frustrating that every time I turn around in the last 48 hours, somebody likes to keep reminding me that I am not good at my job.
I'm sorry, who would that be?
Just others, not you. Harold,
No.
at one moment.
Oh no, it wasn't me I was concerned with. I would like to know who's telling you you're not good at your job.
Well, there was that moment when Harold was intoxicated when he decided to express that opinion.
Well, Harold's not here.
No.
But who else? Of those that are with us, who dares
one of
tell
them.
you such a thing?
No one of note. We dealt with the other one earlier.
Oh, who was that?
Apparently, I'm very scary. I don't understand it.
Oh, you're not frightening at all. At least not to me.
That is true. And, yes, it's very intriguing listening to folk who have zero qualm about saying anything in your presence. But then again, I guess most people aren't aware of just how well we can hear.
Or they simply don't care. You know, they think very little of elves.
True. Which is rather odd. We did manage to pick up 2 extra strays, by the way.
Oh,
An out-of-time human mage.
all right. And the other?
An elven blood mage who's running from the circle.
At that, Zevran's head snaps up and he stares at you. I'm sorry, what?
That was my reaction, but he's quite good at what he does, and
No, you don't understand.
oh, the abominations and the possession and the ability to take over one's vine?
Does Fenris know he's a blood mage?
No.
He doesn't need to find out, or this
I
new
wasn't really
friend,
going to tell Fenris.
he'll find out. And if he finds out you knew and didn't tell him,
I mean, he didn't ask, and he told me to come find you and inform you of things that you needed to know.
my dear, that is a technicality that he will not.
Oh,
care
yes, I
about.
know.
You do
Fenris
know he's
already
of
doesn't like-
Tevinter. Not true. He does have a bit of a chip on his shoulder about the Dalish, but you personally, he actually respects your skill, otherwise he wouldn't have hired you.
Well, I'm glad he respects my skill. Let's put it this way. I didn't want to get the man killed who did get us out of the door right away.
Fair. It's just
And-
his.
Yeah, it could be worse, I guess.
How?
There could have been demons chasing us.
There could have been demons, yes, but he knows how to dispatch demons quite easily. He did come from Tevinter.
It's
You first.
Mavia is convinced that he is a good person and her friend. There was hand-holding and swinging involved. There was also, it was very cute. It was very Mavia. She also arranged a peace accord between our new mage friend and Bastien, our former Templar.
And Zevran in his head is like, this is gonna go so badly.
And Teresa just is looking at him going like, yes, I know.
Well, no, he's
To talk to
thinking
someone. But she's looking at him going like, yes, this is going to go poorly, and I have to share with someone because no one else is.
So, before we talk about more pleasurable things, let me make sure I have this correct. Harold and Zalanis are still in the crossroads.
They went through first immediately after Anders. We found Anders, we
Correct.
couldn't find them.
Correct. So they're still there, we hope. You brought back two people, two mages, one of which, even though he's an elf, he's a blood mage. And Anders looks near death's door. Is that all of it?
Well, we could talk about the wovens we found. We could talk about the way that the old mage is convinced that he was only in the crossroads for a couple days, and yet he is missing entire decades.
This is going to be very bad, because we're going to have to go back to Skyhold, if not tonight, then first thing in the morning. And I don't know if he'll want to leave, but he has his reasons for wanting Anders back. And this has gotten very complicated very quickly.
Extremely. Usually, when I'm asked to hunt someone down like this, it's to keep them dead.
Well, depending on what Anders says, if he wakes up, you may still get to do that. As for why Fenris wanted Anders, that's his story to tell. But enough doom and gloom. What was the more pleasurable reason you wish to find me?
Well, it is always quite fun to watch someone like you walk away.
Do you really want me to walk away right now?
No, not really.
And he gives you that kind of like, I've got you look, because he knows that you're totally into him. Well, if you don't want to see me leave, what is it you want from me?
I would enjoy the pleasure of your company, but that's also your choice to make.
True. Very true. Would you like that now, or would you prefer to bathe and eat first? You have been gone a while.
I am also covered in unknown blood of creature that I'm not 100% sure anyone should enjoy, but we brought smoked jerky of it back if you want some.
An unknown creature from the crossroads. I'm sure Solus probably would want to hear about it, assuming he is not deeply offended that you would have eaten a creature found in the crossroads. He's so delicate about these
Solus?
things.
Who's that?
He's an elven mage in service of the Inquisition. He stays in the rotunda above Dorian's library.
Oh, I think Zalanis mentioned that he met someone. He was concerned that Zalanis was concerned that he had offended people. But that's Zalanis.
True. From what I remember, he's a nice lass. Lad, I'm tired and I'm looking at you. So lass is on the brain. He does make a lovely lad, though. Shame. Shame he seems so skittish.
So you're more intrigued by him or me at the moment?
Oh, absolutely you. You're more on my level, shall we say.
Well, it's always nice to play with someone who can enjoy playing the game the same way.
Yes. So, why don't we make a plan to meet in my tent after you've had a chance to get cleaned up and have a hot meal, something you can identify that you didn't hunt?
Well, I appreciate that.
So after the dinner bell?
Well, after the dinner bell, then. And I guess it's your turn to watch me walk away now. And she just kind of winks at him and turns and walks away.
Oh, does she
Slightly sashaying, but not really.
Nice. So you put a little pep in your step?
Yep. There are hip actions.
Oh, the hips don't lie?
No, they do not.
All right, if you do look back, you see a nice little smirk on his face like, I see you.
Yeah.
So, everyone's got plans later, and they don't involve cold cuts.
No, they don't.
So you know you're never getting away from that, Simon.
I swear, vanillas.
You did it. That was all you. So as Marissa's making her way back to camp, let's go to the medical tent where basically everyone else is now gone. Bastian and Aiden, you are standing nearby just in case Anders does waken and try to fight. Fenris is on a camp cot just staring at him because he's not conscious and he just has this very thoughtful look about him. Like, like in medical dramas where someone is sitting there waiting for someone to come out of a coma and they're just staring at them like, open your eyes, do anything. Athson, what are you doing?
He's trying to get as close to Anders as he is allowed to, basically.
Well, there are healers around Anders, and Fenris is like on this camp chair, not far from him. Like, he's not. If he wanted to, he could reach out and like keep a hand on his leg if he wanted, but he's staying out of the way of the healers.
Okay. So he's trying to be like within sight view because, again, they had talked about him being possessed by something, so he's trying to see if it manifests at all.
Okay.
So far, they've just found him unconscious, basically, and then just carried him back.
Right. So far, he's still unconscious, and I will do some rolls for Anders shortly. So right now, the healers are working on Anders. You do have a spirit healer in your company. You're very fortunate that way because spirit healers are rare. And while this is going on, Mavia, what are you doing? Because you've been cleaned up, you've been patched up. You had spare clothes, obviously, because you knew you'd be gone for a while. So you are now kind of sitting there with Bull. What are you doing?
Well, I imagine that she looks super heroic with like the bandages around her head, and she really roped them into making them visible. They're like, you could just put like a little. No, she wanted like the whole thing. She's regaling Bull with the story about how nobody else could find Anders' trail but her inside the Alluvion.
Okay.
She was the only one who could see it. And, how she had been paying attention to him all that time that they were traveling and how well he taught her to look for something. I mean, she's embellishing and probably saying, something along the lines of, even Verisa, she didn't even see it. I saw it.
So this is very much telling tall tales. Maybe?
No, maybe it completely was the only one that saw that blood.
Well, I know, but they're also used to Mavia at this point.
Yeah, I know. Well, he thinks she is, and she's trying to convince him that she's not for once.
Yeah, and he's just like he's giving you that indulgent.
And then I saw baby wyverns. Do you want Some mystery jerky?
And he like frowns at his one, like his good eye, just kind of he's like mystery jerky.
We have no idea what that animal was, but it was very delicious. Would you like to try some?
I'm good. We have camp food. I'm good. I learned a long time ago in Saharan not to eat strange animals. Are you feeling okay? Your stomach all right? You don't know what it is? Wait, how did you have time to make jerky?
Because it was we were there a lot longer than we were gone from here.
But you were gone about a week.
Oh no, sorry. We were there a lot shorter than we were going. Crap, backwards.
Okay.
I don't know. I think magic probably was it. We have 2 mages. They probably did something. I can't know everything, Bull.
Magic jerky of an unknown animal, and you want me to eat it? No, thank you. Bull is just giving her like gentle,
What?
like
What?
not a head pat, but like a shoulder pat. Like, oh, you poor child.
But what is the worst that could happen?
And he just looks out the tent door and up at the sky like, have you not seen the green thing in the sky? That's what happens with magic, Mavia.
Do you think that happened because somebody ate mystery jerky? Because I don't think so.
And he glares at you like
It's really good.
he does not care that it's good. He's just like, whatever. And he's just like, he's totally indulging you while you pile
yeah.
on. And while you all are talking,
Oh, I would introduce him to Atson, though. I'm sorry.
okay, so you're gonna take him over to Alvin?
No. I'm going to do the, grabby hands thing that a little kid does at somebody towards Atson.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a little kid when they want something but they don't want to get it? Yeah.
Like awkwardly walks over.
Okay.
Atson, this is my friend Bull. Bull, this is Atson. Atson's very good with the magics.
Hi.
Mind you, you probably don't know this, Gabe, but Bull has some of maybe his hair ornaments hanging off of his horns that she put on him.
You have very big muscles.
Thank you.
Do people ever sit on them?
Baby is just excited because she's like, this is very similar to the questions that I ask.
I'm trying so hard not to be utterly filthy.
I mean,
like, well,
I mean, it's Thirsty Thursday.
I know. My brain just went to a really bad place. So Bull just he gets this like devilish grin. He's like, "Oh, they sit on other things, often, and ride."
He looks down at Mavia.
Like fluffalos.
Oh, honey. And he just like walks back off towards it. And it's that head shake of, oh, sweetie. Oh, honey. Oh,
You know exactly what Bull meant.
yeah.
And I think Bull gets very amused that Mavia has no freaking clue what he
I mean, there's a reason "ride the bull" is a phrase.
Oh my God.
I don't want to think
Sorry.
about it, thanks, though.
Why the bull is a what?
Phrase.
Why "ride
Why?
the bull" is a phrase.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
More than two
so-
horns, Simon.
You just wanted to hear that a second time, I'm sure.
I mean,
No. I just literally.
Tanya
did not
says it so
hear
well,
it.
though. It's okay.
So Bull.
So she
Bull-
would, oh, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Before Adson would walk away, she would open her mouth to be like, and you should see the things that Adson can do. And I would assume that somebody who is around would tell her to shut the hell up.
He is going to put a hand on Mavia's shoulder and just shake his head no.
I dance. Not
Wait,
good.
What?
He dances. Not good. And then when he dances for a good like 20 seconds with no music, like an absolute fool, and there's like, haha, that's what I can do, right, Mavia? Thank you.
Yes, but
Mavia,
Oh.
It was better when I sang with it.
Oh no. Oh no.
We're not gonna do it. Don't worry. I won't make you dance again.
I was gonna say it was that much better. Why don't you?
I can't sing it tonight. I'm not gonna.
I'm sorry. For roleplay purposes, I'm glad. Because he would have
Wow.
done it. And it would have
Wow.
been bad. I would have asked to roll for it, to be honest.
Oh, I would have made you all roll for this because it would have been utter chaos in a medical tent.
Oh, damn.
What was that?
That
What?
was a roommate.
Oh, it was like, that was just so well timed. I was like, what?
I know. It's like, wait a second.
No, you would it'd be the equivalent of being in a hospital room making a racket. You would have so had to roll at a disadvantage for it.
Oh no.
So yeah.
Oh.
So
yeah.
just really quickly before we get to the actual role play, just so you know, Kelly,
Uh-huh.
the Kunari treat their mages worse than they do like the mages that go to the tower in Dragon Age. They sew their mouths shut and they have a control rod and a collar. They're called Cerebos. So luckily, Bull, his job is not to tame mages, so he would not do anything to the mages in the party. But is it Arvad? If an Arvad was around, it would be their duty to the Qun to do this to all the mages that they encounter, because a mage speaking is letting demons out, and that's why their mouths are sewn shut.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they can certainly try.
oh dear. Yeah. So just so you know,
I'm right at
knowing-
kneecap level. I'm telling you.
so just
Nobody
so you
better
know,
touch Atson.
If maybe a fight's Bull, it's going to be a very short fight, just so you know.
Is that because I'm a dwarf?
No, because Bull is epic.
No,
threat.
but Bull wouldn't do it. No, I'm not talking about Bull. I'm talking about the other ones.
Yeah, but I mean, Bull is also an epic threat level. It would be
Oh, I
in
know.
character for him to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I know.
anyway.
He would murderize me.
He would, but the DM will not kill you. So you're better. You're chatting up Bull, and he's just making sure that you're okay. While you're chatting, he gets a scroll handed to him, and he'll look at it later. So, everyone else is kind of loitering around where Anders is in his bed, and he's unconscious. He's like, covered in his own. He has bled his own blood, and he's like moving a little bit with the healers doing work. So, Bastian, do you have any Templar abilities?
No, I actually do not.
Okay.
Or at least we never. I mean, if I look at my character sheet, there is no Templar abilities.
Okay. But you did train in some abilities, right?
Story-wise, yes. It's in the background of the character, except
Okay.
I never really explored that in the actual rules or.
Okay. Well, because I was thinking of having Bastian do something when Anders comes around, but we will not worry about it for now. I'm then going to roll for Fenris and see. Oh, he rolled really well. This is not good for Anders. So one of the things Fenris had been doing in between Kirkwall and becoming the Inquisitor was learning to master his lyrium markings. And along with that was learning some Templar abilities because they're based on lyrium. So Fenris can smite, he can silence, he can do shatter. So Anders does open his eyes and he looks around and he sees like the roof of the tent he's in. And he's still weak, but he could fight a little bit if he panics. For those of you that are kind of clustered around Anders, give me a perception check to see if you notice that he's kind of coming around.
Oh, sure.
Because of course, Oh, well.
I get 4 stunts out of a shitty roll.
Nice. All right, I'm just looking up Andrew's character sheet really quick.
Every time that gets said, I just imagine like random somersaults happening in the middle of like.
No, but
An
I'm
RP.
I'm thinking like I'm just gonna check. I think there's a perception stunt that can let you re-roll. I would just like that, please.
So if you fail your perception, you can re-roll your perception.
Well, that's what I want to see, but I'm not sure.
I rolled a 7.
Okay,
There's a
it's
rogue- There's a rogue ability for it.
no, but there's a 4-point that would burn all of my stun points. But it's resources at hand. I can choose a focus that I don't have for the same skill.
Okay.
So I would choose like the focus like spot, I guess,
Okay.
to give me a +2.
Okay.
That's it.
Atson and Bastion and Verisa, are you still getting cleaned up, or have you made your way to the medical tent by now?
I think she's probably just finished getting cleaned up because it's not like she would have left a big mess. She's an accomplished hunter, but she's, and she knows that they're on a clock and she's still working.
Okay, so you're not quite there yet. But everyone else was. So Aiden, you definitely noticed that Anders is kind of moving around, but not a lot. Atson, what about you?
My total was 11.
Okay, and Bastion?
7.
Bastion, you're still tired from carrying Anders. You don't notice anything. And how is our Mabari doing?
He was picking a fight with the cat, who's twice his size.
Did you roll your perception?
Did not.
What is your perception?
Well, see, I would know that. Hi, baby. If I had Roll20 open, which I forgot to open.
Oh my god.
Um,
I will roll your perception.
yes, please roll my perception for me.
I know that you have a focus in
I
spot.
have. It makes me wonder. So I have like that's a stunt, but I do have a focus in searching.
Okay, I'm gonna roll your d6 for you.
Oh, I got in.
What was it?
An 8.
Okay, you don't notice that he's kind of trying to come around and coming to. I should roll for Fenris though. Although Fenris is close enough where he'd have to really fail to not notice Anders is moving around. I mean, he already rolled well before, and he's got 2 stunts if he wants. He notices too, and he starts to actually reach back like he's gonna get his sword, and he remembers he doesn't have his sword because he ran out of his tent. But he's dangerous on his own. He actually starts pulling himself together to do a smite if he has to. Anders opens his eyes and he turns his head and sees Fenris. And then he notices the rest of you. And he just groans because he's still weak from blood loss. You weren't going to be happy till you caught me, were you? And he looks at Fenris, who is silent. He can't find the words because what he has to say to Anders is not for everyone to hear. And he nods. He was like, you know why I had to track you down. And while they're kind of giving each other this contest of wills, what are the rest of you doing?
I am looking at both of them in turn and using my spirit ability to sense their emotion.
Oh, that's dirty. Anders is frightened and feeling a little betrayed, and he's wondering. He's like, he's basically like a scared animal backed in a corner right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows he's weak, and even if he was being healed, he's still not. He can't fight everyone off. He couldn't get away at this point. And Fenris is actually conflicted. He's happy Anders has been found, but he's sad that it took so much to find him. And he actually like looks up at you, Aiden, because he's very sensitive to spirit things because of delirium and because of magic. And he looks at you and he wonders what you're doing.
Hi. I made you.
I know. I met you earlier. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm trying to get a read on the room. Things are tense, and I don't know any of you, but it feels like it is going to come to blows very, very soon. And I don't know if I should step out or if I should step in. I'm a good de-escalator. I have been doing.
You hear a snort from Mavia over in the corner, who has now opened up the trail snacks and is just watching.
And Fenris actually snarls at you, Aiden. Like you're a mage and you're snooping where you don't belong.
Oh,
You don't get to check. And he just like, you see him like almost like recoil because of the feel of your magic brushing against the brands. And he stares at you. He's like, get out. Get out right now.
well, it seems like stepping out is the best course of action. I will be right outside if you need attention.
And he just like, he actually like growls at you a little bit in his throat because you wouldn't know this, but Simon would, knowing his history of having magic used against his will. That's like a major violation for him right now. And Aiden will have broken his trust before they've even had a chance to talk.
Yeah, Aiden doesn't know that.
Right, Aiden doesn't know that, but the player knows that. So this is a, player knowledge. Gonna get you in trouble. So Alston, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'd still technically be in my circle robes now. So now that Anders is awake, would he have looked at me weird for that at all?
If he noticed, he's still kind of groggy. He is like he'll probably notice that you're in circle robes when he does turn and give you a good look. Right now, he's like having this stare down with Fenris, but he's gonna know there's other mages present just because you give off magical energy.
Yeah. And so right now he seems normal, right?
Yes. Right now he seems totally fine.
Is Aston smiling?
Not right now. He looks extremely focused. Like if he was reading a book, but he's not like following his eyes or the pages, it's just Anders.
Okay.
Mavia is watching Aston.
Yeah.
Okay, and Bastian, what are you doing?
Bastion is keeping an eye on, also keeping an eye on Aston, but more so if he has to step in, he wants to be able to.
Okay. And Verisa, let me know when you would like to get to the medical tent or if you want to wait for a bit.
I think Varisa's gonna try and like notice that Aiden's walked out of the medical tent
Okay.
and just kind of has that raised eyebrow of shit, things have gone wrong already, and then going to sneak into the medical tent.
Okay, well, she doesn't really need to sneak in, but you can.
I mean, it's her default setting.
Fair. You know what? I'm going to make you roll for that because right now there's a lot of focus of what's happening in the tent. And it's not like it's a huge tent. It's not like their normal pavilion that they would travel with on a better planned excursion. So it's not this huge tent. So it's going to be hard to sneak and not be seen.
9, 10, 16, 18.
Wow, you have been, after a bath, you're so refreshed and clear-headed. You're like the wind. Like, if a breeze goes to the tent, they don't realize it's you sneaking in. So yeah, you are one with the shadows, Teresa. What do you do with this very sneaky roll?
She's gonna try and hide in like the shadows of the tent and try and make sure she does, kind of keeping an eye on Fenris and Athsin and Anders. Not because she doesn't trust Athsin, but because she knows, and Zevran's conversation with Zevran earlier, that Fenris has a problem with blood mages from his own personal thing, and maybe I should intervene to keep Athsin alive. It seems the fair thing to do because Athsin did her a solid and opened the portals.
Fair. All right. So I'm going to give another roll for Anders to see if he does something foolish. He gets stun points, but he does not do anything foolish. But he does finally stop staring down Fenris and looks around at the rest of you. And Athsin, he does notice your circle robes. And then he glances back at Fenris. He's like, oh, so just picking up circle mages? Is that what you're doing now? And Fenris glares at him. He's like, you know it's not like that. And he turns back to you, asking, he's like, so where'd you come from? What circle?
I came from the Circle of Mages.
And he just, like, rolls his eyes. He's like, there's only room for one smart-ass mage here. And it's not you.
Is this the proper time to be having this conversation?
Well, I might as well get it out of the way before Fenris does whatever he plans to do with me. Be that tranquility or the noose or the axe. And because for those that don't know, Anders canonically gets a little flippant when he's in trouble. Mm-hmm. He's very much oh, I'm in trouble. Let me try to fast talk my way out of it. Also, he doesn't know who half of you are. So he's not going to show his hand, as it were, from what you all know about him. So he's just kind of giving you a look. He figures, okay, I'm surrounded. I know I'm weak from blood loss. Even if he could get up and run, he's not going to get very far. So it's like, snark is an easy weapon right now to wield on someone he doesn't know.
Yeah. Mavia is behind Athsin, who's with Anders, so she's looking at it. So she's going to try and gauge the reaction of Anders if she pulls out the pillow and just kind of leans over and holds it up.
Okay, and you're doing that?
Yeah, she's just going to do this kind of pull it out and hold it to the side and see if he reacts to it at all.
He does.
She has no idea what it is, except that it's a pillow.
So he does. And he even tries to sit up and grab for it. Where did you get that?
Do you really think that now is the best time for you to be asking the questions?
And he makes this like low distressed noise. He's like, that's really important to me. You have no idea.
Well, it presents a problem to me. Since I don't know what it is, I don't know how important it is to you, and I don't know if you can use it to hurt people I love.
It's a pillow.
It's a pillow with magic writing on it.
You're a dwarf. You wouldn't know magic writing if it bit you.
Okay, I'm keeping your pillow. And she walks away.
Oh, he tries to get up and struggles to sit up because that pillow.
She is fast.
Well, he's weak from blood loss.
Yeah, I know. She's fast, though. She's just going to kind of dance out of the way. And then kind of be woozy because she did just hit her head. But yeah, no, she's not going to do anything to it. Like, she's not going to destroy it or anything. But she's going to hold on to it.
And surprisingly, Fenris, of all people, is like, Mavia. Don't taunt him with that. because he knows what it is and how important it is to Anders.
I'm trying to separate whether Mavia is conflicted or Kelly is conflicted, because Fenris has never been hasn't even noticed her except to be annoyed at her, which annoys her.
But Fenris is the one paying her and providing her 5 meals a day.
He has not paid me yet, and I've only gotten 3.
And you just caught Anders yesterday. So me.
Mavia is going to walk back over. She's got the pillow behind her back. And she's going to kind of lean into Anders and be like, all you had to tell me was what it was.
I told
You
you.
didn't have to be rude. And she will slam the pillow down on his chest.
And he grunts because he's hurt. But he like actually cradles it and kind of turns away because it is really, really important to him. And you look up and notice Fenris giving you this like half disappointed, half angry look.
So normal.
No, this is like, you've not seen him look like this. There's more to his relationship with Anders than he's told any of you, and it's very clear in how he's staring at you for having taunted Anders with that pillow.
And she's gonna return his look. She's like totally blank face. And she's, point out, maybe I just get a little tired of not being taken seriously and being laughed at all the time.
And he like,
sorry that I made your friend upset.
and he frowns. He was like, when did I laugh at you?
It's the royal you.
And he's already sitting on like a camp chair, so he doesn't have to like lean down. But he gets very close to you. He's like, Navia, we both know that you really aren't supposed to be here. And he says it very, very quietly. Like, I'm putting a lot of trust in you. I haven't laughed at you. No one here has laughed at you. We've given you a lot of trust. Don't take out what others have done to you on us. And he leans back and kind of like, he just rubs the like bridge of his nose, and he's just like trying to control himself. He's like weirdly emotional now that you've gotten Anders back, and he's having a hard time, especially around people he doesn't know.
Would maybe I be able to tell that he is having more emotions than one would associate with the Inquisitor who was angry and wanted to get this guy back, that she didn't realize they had the history?
Probably. I mean, you're right. You're like this close to him. You'd have to really, really like be emotionally unwilling to. You'd have to like not be willing to see him as a person in that moment to not realize it.
Yeah, I'm only asking because I don't know how good this guy is at disguising emotion. So
normally he's very good at it, but his walls are kind of breaking because this is the first time he's seen Anders since Kirkwall fell, and I think in the game it's what, 2-3 years, 5 years between Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. So it's been years since he's seen him.
maybe then would just kind of hold his look for a second. And because that's the first time he's told her that he knows that she's not he hired.
He's been knowing. He just never had an opportunity to bring it up.
Yeah. He seems like the type to wait and hold on to something until its maximum effect. So then after she looks at him for a second, she just kind of turns and quietly walks away, and she leaves the tent.
Okay. Bull follows you and grabs that scroll that he was handed, and he just kind of taps you on the shoulder. He's like, we got a side quest, a side assignment if you want to go with me.
Side quest.
Side quest.
Sorry, I got really happy.
There's a side quest for you.
Does someone need us to go like kill kobolds that have candles or something? I'm not going to go into that. Sure. Why would I need to go with you? You're perfectly capable on your own.
I'm just asking if you want to go with me, Navia. Aren't you? You're capable too. Two is better than one.
Will you try a piece of mystery jerky?
He rolls his eyes like, fine, I'll eat the mystery jerky if that will make you happy.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so Bull and Mabia wander off on their side quest for now. And the rest of you, having witnessed this near break of this elven warrior that you don't know very well, what do you do? How do you respond?
I wave at Mavia and Bull leaving. And I go back to eavesdropping on the tent.
Okay. Marissa, what are you doing with your sneaky stabby self?
She's keeping an ear outside and kind of like an eye outside the tent. But she's also still watching Fenris in case, you know, he tries to kill Athson right here.
For now, Aston's pretty safe. Right now, Fenris is a little emotionally compromised. And he's not concerned with this new elf he hasn't really even got a chance to talk to. He's more concerned with kind of the mage that you all have found. Bastian, what are you doing?
He's not really saying anything, but he's looking to try and see what's next. Like, observing, we'll say, for now.
Okay.
But focusing, like, he doesn't really care what's going on, like, with everybody else. He knows where Athson is. He knows where Fenris is. He knows where Anders is. That's, like, his point of concern is just, like, those three, and that's it. Just...
Okay. So Anders realizes that Fenris has gone quiet, but again, he doesn't want to talk with all these strange people around. So he does roll over and he whispers to Fenris, "Can you make them leave so we can talk? I'm in no shape to fight you, you know that." And Fenris just nods. And the healers look at him kind of like, we're not done with him yet. And he waves them off. And he just asks you all to leave very quietly. Like, you know, like when someone is near an emotional break and they're barely holding it together, but they don't want anyone to see them cry. That's where he's at now. So he asked you in that kind of very broken, tired voice for everyone to please leave them to talk, and for guards to be at both entrances to the tent. Do you all leave, or do you stay anyway?
Bastion at this point is gonna leave, head towards one of the doors, and stay relatively close, but be outside the tent.
I'll leave.
Marisa waits till everyone else leaves and then kind of sneaks out the door and kind of just slides up next to Bastion and just, "How are you?" in that
Jesus Christ!
Who's this Jesus Christ you speak of?
distant ancestor, isn't it?
Andraste.
Andraste guide you.
Andraste, guide me. My God, woman, do you ever stop?
Doing what?
Doing what? Do you not know what you just did?
I walked out a door.
And you walked up without making any noise.
Yes. Why would I want to make noise?
So that
Prey gets
people
away.
know you're there when it's not necessary for you to sneak.
It's always necessary.
I'm so talking to Zalanis about this when he gets back.
Good. And then I can sit there and laugh.
Where is it? What's our? Do we have a plan for finding him? On that subject.
I have thoughts and questions, but it requires, and she kind of glances at the door of the tent, a more private conversation with certain individuals.
How far away is Atson?
I'm probably just following.
So Bastion is gonna quietly, so that it's like only the three of them are privy to it, and just kind of lean in and say, "Are you ready to help us go back in if we have to?"
Yes, but let's share with others that I am an early creation mage. I do have some creation magic, and
Let's not say anything at the moment because he can hear you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You speak in riddles, but people will continue giving you the wrong answers if they don't know you're speaking in riddles, or they don't know what the riddle means.
And she like literally just puts her finger on your mouth and just like, other people are listening all the time.
That's what
Hello.
I'm assuming.
Oh, good lord.
So we're gonna actually leave them with this awkward conversation and go take a break, get some water, get some food if you need a snack, whether it's mystery jerky or a libation or just get up and stretch. Please go do so. We're gonna come back to the conclusion of this weird, awkward conversation, and then see what Zevran and Marisa get up to in his tent later. So we'll be back.
Stick around. Yep. In a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, everyone. We'll be right back. Hello, friends. We're back. Apparently,
Hello.
Andrew is playing Mavia now. Mavia.
Yes.
Tiny hiccup with the cameras. But yes, Kelly had to leave during break. She'll be back next week while her character is away with Bull.
As my first action as Mavia,
Oh God.
Oh,
I'm gonna find a source of bacon and fill my pockets.
my God.
All right. I mean, that's legit. You have a bounty of bacon in your pocket. Speak of the devil, Eugenio showed up. Eugenio says yes, play Mavia.
I'm afraid I really couldn't do her justice, though. I mean, Mavia is a whole different level.
We summoned Eugenio. We literally just talked about you. That's hilarious. In a good way, not in a bad way. All right, we are back from break. We're gonna leave this distraught scene for a few minutes because I gotta figure out how I need to talk to myself for this scene. The three of you are having this awkward conversation a little too close to the tent to not be overheard. So what do you do?
Verisa literally just pushes her hands on Atsin's lips and shakes her head and kind of nods it towards the tent to be like, not here.
Bastion
just
at that
follows.
point is gonna grab Aiden and pull him with them just in case Aiden didn't get the point as they move away from the tent and prying ears.
But I was.
And Verisa will lead them far enough away from the tent that she can't hear Fenris.
Okay.
Because she's going on the, if I can't hear Fenris, then Fenris shouldn't be able to hear me.
Exactly. So now that you are a safe distance away, what are you all doing?
So,
Bastion is gonna look at Aiden. Last time you were here, were blood mages a bad thing or a super bad thing?
Depends on who you ask.
let's go with
I
elven slaves who escaped to Vinta.
I think that they can do whatever they want.
Ah, I like you, Aiden.
But the society, as you recall it, what was
Everything is relative. I'll give you an example. Slavery is a thing in Tevinter. It is not in Ferelden. It's acceptable at one place, such as blood magic, which is not acceptable elsewhere. The question is what you do with this magic. I haven't myself seen many a blood mages in my life, and all I have to say is they're scary on a battlefield. They do things to people, but so do necromancers or entropy magic people.
okay?
Also,
Let me
if you've
just.
ever seen a shapeshifter change into a fucking giant spider, that's just ugh.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. Blood mage equals death sentence.
Yes.
Let's
Well,
lay off any mention of blood magic.
thank the maker I am not a blood mage. Nor
Ha
is
ha.
any of us here.
Correct. Especially if somehow someone had awoken with blood magic after nightmares of demons and other strange things happening, and then still learning as to why it's the case. But when something happens, you can't necessarily take it away, and so
I-
you just have to leave.
Let's just make sure that we don't mention the fact that there is a Maleficarum among us.
Yes.
There is
there's-
none. And if
there's-
there were, especially one that woke up with that knowledge, I would love to sit down and chat.
It's a good thing there is someone who seems to understand spirits and someone who loves creation.
I do. Not my particular sphere of magic, but I.
No,
Dabble in
I meant they were two separate. Aiden.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. I'm the spirit,
Yes.
and you're the creation.
There you go.
Oh, yes. Well, that makes sense now. Yes.
Proud of you.
Okay.
We got there.
Why would I? You know what? You all don't know me, and I'd rather we leave it that way.
What?
Let's just assume
Aiden,
that
are
I
you
need help
suspicious?
to keep another mage's life safe.
Are you a suspicious person?
Define suspicious.
If you have to ask that question.
That's a little suspicious.
Am I suspicious of others?
No. I mean, are you a suspicious character?
Oh, should you be suspicious of me?
Yes.
Oh, well, that entirely depends on your degree of devotion to.
I feel like we're going to get into another conversation about relativity.
Oh Lord.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Both of you are very helpful, and I appreciate your assistance.
I have done
Fenris.
nothing.
Appreciate your assistance. Fenris, Lord Inquisitor, deals with the big green thing in the sky, hired us to find the gentleman we brought and is currently lying there. Fenris was a slave of a Maleficarum in Tevinter. He has bad memories of that. It was not good for him. He led a revolt against said blood mages in Tevinter. And there was lots of killing and stabbing and a little bit of explosion. Is that an accurate description, Bastion?
Something like that, yeah.
He, Fenris is not fond of those who perform such magic. So sometimes...
Double in.
Nonsense. He should be angry at the slavers.
He is. All of the slavers were blood mages.
But not all blood mages are slavers.
But any other blood mages are usually possessed by demons, and he's called to come deal with them because, you know, big green thing in the sky.
So do you trust Fenris? You didn't say yes immediately, so then why did you work for them?
I don't trust anyone.
That's a horrible way to live your life.
Well, considering this is just a second option, and living is a very complicated definition of the term at the moment. This is the best we've got. Fenris,
No.
I trust Fenris to be Fenris.
But you don't trust Fenris. So if you can't trust the person and you can trust them to be someone you don't trust, isn't that a bad scheme of doing business?
Yeah, I trust him to pay up front and not try and stab me
I trust
without
him.
letting me know about that.
Yeah, I
also
trust him
think-
to be direct about whatever is going on and not do what others might and do the underhanded thing.
But you haven't. But
He
why
doesn't
do you
lie.
work, but why do you work with Fenris? What is the purpose? Are you just mercenaries? I didn't think so, but is that the case?
There's advantages, but
Are
it started out that way.
Are you or one of your loved ones being threatened by the Inquisition?
No.
No. Let's put it this way. Anders, none of my loved ones are still alive. Well, that's not true. Zolanis might still be alive, but everyone else is very, very dead.
I'm seeking certain things, and the Inquisition has some promising resources for me.
No one is currently being threatened by the Inquisition. The Inquisitor is too upfront and honest a person. If he wants to kill you, you'll see it coming. There'll be a very large sword. He'll be very angry. There might be screaming, possibly big glowing lines across his face.
You'll have a few
But-
seconds to react, really.
So you
There will be a
trust
warning.
them to be honest, but you do not trust them beyond their honesty.
I mean,
Well,
Do you know what you brought Anders back for specifically?
honoring
Fenris
our
is-
contract?
But do you know why they wanted Anders?
no. Well, here's the answer. It's one of two things. Fenris either wants to fuck him or kill him.
I was eavesdropping
Frankly.
by the tent to try to get an idea as to what was going on.
Oh, but that was risky in and of itself.
Also, did you have specific proof that Anders was possessed? Or were you just told?
No, I saw it.
And what did you see exactly?
He's dealing with he was going to open the alluvium, and while he is there, Fenris, well, let me rephrase that. I was hiding, trying to find a way of sneaking up on him to knock him out and then tie him up, but certain other people got a little emotional, ran out, challenged. Anders got upset, started saying, no, you can't be here, this whole thing about whatever. And then he sees Fenris, and then his entire dialogue and personality changes as he opens the alluvium and walks through the door. Language, accent, just. I've seen a lot of things. He wasn't in control of himself when he went through there, which is why I tried to shoot him to knock him away from the alluvium, and unfortunately he fell backwards. I'm blaming Harold. Bastion, this is your official notice. I'm blaming Harold.
Got it. Understood.
So a potentially possessed person who was trying to run away was brought back to Fenris.
There was the whole side effect of, Fenris wanting him and looking for him for being an apostate and blowing up the chantry.
And now he's in the camp where we all are. And restrained and probably still possessed by something that could potentially harm all of us.
Like I said.
Like you said, what? You said a million different things.
There's not a lot of reason to trust people.
No, there's reason to trust people. I think you're all just trusting the shit
one?
ones. Oh, yes, that. It's a nicer way to say it.
I don't think we're trusting the wrong one in trusting Fenris, beyond the fact that
He hasn't given us any reason to doubt him, and he hasn't done any wrong by us the entire time that we've been aligned with assisting him.
What was his treatment of mages?
neutral good,
Ambivalence?
unless they're trying to actively harm him or remind him of his own torture at the hands of blood mages in Tevinter.
Or do something that they're not supposed to do in his presence?
I mean, he was very okay
AKA.
with my keeper and the whole little mess he made in the courtroom. Oh, Athson, you're aware that keepers are mages, right?
Yes, but so then what happens next?
What happens next is I'm waiting for Fenris to calm down enough that we can go have a conversation with Anders so I can find out where Harold and Zalanis are.
But you have
Hopefully.
no assurance that Anders will be alive by the time you go to him.
There's a
I'm pretty sure-
chance.
No, I'm pretty sure that if Fenris wants to kill him, it'll be public and loud.
I don't
Well-
think
Likely.
you've never experienced trying to kill a demon.
Yes, I have.
Lisa. So you think someone would do it publicly and loud?
Doesn't it get
Yes.
public and loud when you're trying to kill a demon?
Yes, unintentionally.
So while you all are having this conversation, we're actually going to check in on Fenris and Anders.
Oh hell.
you all can keep having this conversation because I'm trying to figure out where it's going, and I'm sure your characters are too. But in the tent, Anders is just curled up with this pillow that he was given finally by Mavia. And Fenris is sitting there, like head down, and he's just very quiet, and he's staring at Anders, who finally is like kind of turned over and is looking at him expectantly. And Anders is just like, well, you got me. And I'm sure that you've got plans for me. And Fenris actually like glares at him. He's like, just shut up and listen to me for once. It's something you never were able to do in Kirkwall. Just for once, can you just fucking listen to me? And Anders is just a little taken aback by that, because Fenris usually wasn't that blunt with him, unless like they'd been sitting around drinking, maybe with talk. And post Kirkwall, they just weren't. They traveled together until Anders made a run for it after what he did in Kirkwall. So he just holds his pillow closer and just nods and is like, just waits for Fenris to start talking. And Fenris is like, look, everyone thinks that I had you tracked down to kill you, to serve justice for Kirkwall. You, me, Hawk, Zevran, we know that's not the case. What we had in Kirkwall it was good. And after Kirkwall, well, Hawk changed, I changed. And he actually like holds up his palm to show the Fade Rift in it. Like, I've changed a lot. Not because I wanted to. But the thing that we talked about a lot before Kirkwall went up, what Daenerys did to me that I need help with. That's partially why I wanted you back, but also you did a stupid, foolish thing, and I know I shouldn't trust you. You broke my heart in Hawks and Zevran's. But I couldn't see you hunted down like a dog by Templars. I wanted to give you a chance to right what you've done. For now, we're going to get you healed up. Get you back to Skyhold. To leave some people here. To watch you leaving in case our missing party members show up. But I didn't do all this just to kill you like a dog in the courtyard. Because, well, stupid as it may seem, even after what you did, I know that there's a good person in there. And thanks to one of our mages, we may have a way to really get rid of justice. Not the lie that you fed all of us to blow up the Chantry. Of course, I can't make you do any of this. If you don't agree, then someone other than me will have to, do the thing. He can't actually bring himself to say kill Anders. And he drops his head down and he's just like, I know you don't want to be shackled, but you're also really weak right now. You can either agree to come with us or we knock you out and keep you that way until we get back to Skyhold. I'm giving you one chance here, Anders. And you don't have to answer now. I need to go talk to Zevran and calm down. There's going to be guards. And for now, I'm going to ask the healers to put you to sleep. But think about it, and I'll be back in the morning to see what you decide. Is that fair? And Anders is shocked. He doesn't know what to make of it because he was sure he was about to die. That Fenris was going to do his glowing fist trick and just take care of him then and there. Because he figured, why else would you hunt me down except to kill me yourself? So he's floored. He can just nod and go, not what I expected. But honestly, sleep is going to be the best thing for me to heal. So for now, I agree. I'll think about it in the morning. I'll let you know what I decide. And Fenris stands up, but he also gives him a very withering glare. And he's like, I don't want to do what many people expect of me, but I will if I have to. It'll break my heart. And Hawks, I don't know about Zevran. He's a professional killer. But for now, you get to live and see one more day. And he steps out and summons the healers and the guards so that Anders can be put to sleep and finish healing. And he spots the three of you. What do you do when you see Fenris?
Nothing until other people do something.
Do you think we can talk to him yet?
Inquisitor,
Yes, Farisa.
is our guest recovered enough to ask him some questions?
Not yet. I've asked the healers to put him into a sleep until tomorrow morning. But there'll be plenty of opportunity to talk to him in the morning before we set off for our skyholds.
Very well.
Is there anything you needed from me?
Not at all, Inquisitor. Why don't you get some rest? You're looking stressed and angry and want to go hit something.
And he gives you a smirk. He's like, careful, Varisa, I might think you care. He gives you a
What is-
knowing little smirk. He's like, by the way, Zevran's tent is that way.
I'm sure.
I mean, if you want, you can go in and try to talk to him before Anders is put to sleep. But there are guards around him. But again, for now, he's not a threat to anyone. He suffered blood loss. And he's emotionally really fucked up right now.
Yeah,
So-
I don't. Did we want to go and do that now then? I don't think so.
No. Best speak when tensions are lesser, I believe.
I mean, honestly, Fenris is not. He is not going to be angry with you all for asking questions because the only thing he was going to do was look for Zevran to talk with his friend. But he's kind of picked up on Varisa's interests, and also he would have seen Zevran at some point between then and now, or he would have gotten a note sent to him. So, if you want to try to talk to Fenris, it's not the end of the world. He's not going to bite anyone's head off. He's just kind of like sad and a little down, but he's also very conflicted. But he's not like he's not glowing and angry.
I believe Bastin wouldn't want to like talk to him now. It would be more of a, if Anders is going to be sleeping until morning and nothing's going to happen, then let's not do anything until morning.
Okay. Athson, Fenris does finally notice you, by the way.
I'll just softly like bow my head, my hands together,
Oh,
smiling
you,
awkwardly.
you don't need to bow to me. I will not have another elf bowing to me. Never again.
No
What
worries.
was your name?
My name is Axon.
And he gives you an elven head nod, like I see you.
Yeah.
So you found them in the crossroads.
I'd say more they found me.
Yes, we stumbled upon him wandering, a little lost, as we were pursuing Anders.
Along with this one. And then I gesture to Aiden.
Hello.
And hello. And Fenris like frowns at you. He's like, Has anyone told you it's rude to use magic on them without permission?
Oh, I've been away from people for a while. It not really a spell. It's become almost like second nature. But I apologized for using my powers on you and Anders.
Very well. Well, are all of you fed? You know where your tents are?
No.
We'll sort it out.
And Fenris is just looking at you like, what's funny? Are you laughing or is Aiden laughing?
Oh, I am laughing. Simon is laughing because of
Yeah,
the
that's-
face everyone made. Sorry.
God.
Okay.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
I don't know where my fucking tent is.
Fair. So Fenris is actually kind of intrigued by Alcin because, I mean, he's seen Varisa, he's seen Zolanis. He doesn't particularly care for Solus, even though Solus is useful to the Inquisition. And Sarah is on very
Sarah.
thin ice. Sarah. What about Sarah?
Sarah is Sarah.
Sarah is Sarah, and she's pretty much on thin ice with him right now. And he's kind of glad to be in the field and not with her. But he's curious about you because he thinks you may either be from Ravane or also of Tevinter. So he actually starts speaking to you in Tavine, Aston. Do you speak it?
Yeah, he'd probably respond. Being forward is probably going to be the least way to be suspicious.
Oh, I wondered if you knew our language. Are you from Tevinter?
Yes, but sometimes I avoid mentioning it because it's not a place I always want to be from, if you understand.
Oh, believe me, I understand. And he actually is like kind of excited to find another elf from Tevinter. 'Cause, you know, like Harold was his friend that he got to re-know, and more than a friend by the end of the first season. Like I don't get to meet many other elves from Tevinter that are free.
I
Other
believe
than
it. And if we do, they're often not the best.
True. A friend of mine, the one that's missing, well, one of the elves that's missing, was a childhood friend that I re-met when I hired all of these folks.
These folks are interesting.
Yes, but they're effective.
Oh my god.
It was super effective. Gabe unintentionally used super effective.
Oh my god.
He laughs at that. He's like, well, tomorrow on the way back to Skyhold, maybe we can chat more. It's always good to find another one of us that has gotten away from Tevinter.
That would be lovely. And he's like grinning. The really awkward, uncomfortable grin that the rest of the party knows.
Yeah, so are any of you going to try to save Atson?
Maybe it's time we let Fenris get to his conversations and attend ourselves at our tents.
I mean, there has to be something better than mystery creature from beside the crossroads jerky.
I trust that there is. And Bastion will kind of start leading the way over to like the mess tent or whatever equivalent there is of that.
I mean, there's a mess tent, and there's Druffalo stew because you're out there and somebody hunted down a couple of Druffalo. So you have nice hot stew, basically beef stew, and bread that's made out in the field. Someone gathered up root vegetables, so you've got a nice hearty meal to enjoy now that you're back. And Fenris wanders away, and he signals for someone to bring him food to his tent because he's kind of done in with people for a while. And as he leaves, he notices Zevran coming in the other side of the tent. He just waves at him and goes about his business. And Zevran comes and joins all of you, sitting very poignantly next to Barisa.
She'd kind of lean back and like do that open her posture moments that, you know, it's like allowing him to be in the space with her at the same time kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
So like, you know, when two people kind of sit together in a booth at in a restaurant, they can just kind of like shift, like one shifts their shoulder backwards further against the booth so that they can be in the same space.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. So
it's proxemics, you know, saying without saying that, you know, this person is welcome within your sphere.
Yeah, so he's got like slices of Juffalo meat and some someone found potatoes somewhere. You don't know where, but hey, there's also potatoes if you want them. And he's eating with the tip of his knife, and he's like, "So, have you soothed our angry inquisitor?"
Hell's not here. That's his job.
He's flighty. At least he's not here to fight with Hawk as well, so...
Is Hawk here?
No, Hawk wisely stayed back in Skyhold.
Who's
Okay.
Hawk?
And Zevran looks up at you, Aiden. He's like, you're the mage that was lost in the crossroads.
I looked at Atson.
No, he's looking right at you, Aiden.
Can I point it Aiden?
You weren't lost?
Weren't you lost?
I was, but I thought...
Doesn't matter, shut up. Yes, Aiden.
Yes, I am the lost one. I fell into a mirror, as it were.
Mirrors.
Wait, what?
That makes me curious, actually.
Yes,
How?
please regale the table with how you fell into a mirror, Sir Mage.
Especially that falling part.
It's a figure of speech. It's more like I
Slipped.
ran headfirst into a mirror.
So Zevran is even more intrigued now because he does have a Dalish parent and he is aware of the lore of the Illuvians, but would have no idea how to like get one to open.
What
So he's
were
looking
you
at
running
you.
from?
Yeah.
Oh, it's more, what was I running to? I was trying to get to the other side, but I lacked the appropriate know-how to get an Illuvian working, and I just so happened to found one that was open, and I didn't want to take any chances, and jumped into a whole
Others-
new adventure.
Other side.
What other side? I mean, we were in the crossroads. You saw that.
You said, yes, you said you wanted to travel from A to the other side through the mirror, but you couldn't get there. What other side were you going to?
No, the crossroads.
So you got to the crossroads and you've been wandering there for quite some time.
Yes.
Did you find what you were looking for in the crossroads?
Not really. I was looking for a way out, and that didn't happen until your friends showed up, and Athsen. Actually, more Athsen than anybody else.
So
And
He's an elf.
my elven eyes can see that. And Zevran literally points at like his ears, and Barisa, and Atson. Like we know our people.
They're kind of all elves,
yes.
Aiden.
Well, except for you, what I can see. But yes, I just meant that by virtue of his elven blood, Athsen was able to send us home.
Do
Yes,
you
because elves
The
power
slowest,
Illuvians.
the
Illuvians,
slowest head turn to look at Aiden.
Illuvians have always been a transportation system built by the elves of old, made to work by elves for elves.
Yes.
so
is their secret.
then? So Zevran, you have Zevran's full attention now, and he's got the knife he was eating with. And he's kind of like wagging it at you, Aiden. So, if you knew this and you're not an elf, why did you run into an Illuvian? You had to know you couldn't open one to get back out.
No, but if one can find one that's already open, because they tend to open and close at random intervals, which is still something that I haven't been able to understand fully. Some Illuvians seem to work by themselves without needing anything magical or anything elven to get them to work. I figured I would take a jaunt over on the other side, see what all the fuss is about regarding the elven transportation system, and that you call the crossroads, and then come back. You know, maybe miss a week or so.
So, you just thought you'd basically take a jaunt through elven history, is what you're saying. Zevran asks you.
My whole life is a jaunt through elven history.
And he like wags the knife at you. And is like, so, yet another Shem devouring our history and our culture. And is surprised when he gets lost.
Oh, my, if you think of me this way, then I cannot stop you. I just believe that elven history should be preserved.
Yes, by elves. After all, humans have taken away and destroyed the Dales. They've ruined our history and our culture. Surely you've seen Alienages. You know Tevinter. Our own Inquisitor was a slave. Who are you to preserve elven history?
That is a tad more complicated than I would care to admit. But the gist of the matter is, the Shem will never listen to the elves, but they might listen to a Shem.
So you're...
Did you just say you're listening to yourself?
No, I meant humans will go and destroy everything elven because they do not care. The only
Isn't
person
Aiden a
that...
human?
Yeah?
That's what it looks like. But
I'm gonna just hit Aiden.
Ow!
wait,
Verisa,
So are you- hold on. So, quick check. So you're actually hitting Aiden.
Yeah, I'm not trying to inflict damage, but I am actively hitting him.
Where and how are you hitting him?
Kind of just want to slap him
Like upside the head or like in the face?
in the face.
So you're backhanding him?
Yes.
Ow! What? That's in.
So, a couple of things. One, certain aspects of elven history should be left to elves to discuss the history and the secrets. Two, I'm very glad there has not been a reaction, but we just had a conversation, Aiden, about the whole, blood thing, that not everybody can do it anymore. And you just told somebody.
I didn't tell anyone.
Oh, Zevran just waves off. Oh, come on.
it just,
You-
I
Yeah.
Was that Zevran?
I said you needed elf, to be an elf, to make a Maluvian word.
Oh, you think I care about? I'm an assassin. Blood doesn't bother me.
No, but you're also a stranger.
Oh, and Zevran actually kind of laughs and it's like, have you heard of the crows, Aston, from
Yes.
Antiva?
Why?
You're looking at the crow master. Of everyone here, a little bloodshed is not going to bother me. No matter if it's in service to the Inquisition, for anyone who pays me enough coin, or as this Shem has put it, any of our elven blood to open a gateway. But elves don't have to shed our blood for that. It's innate when you have magic. But I am no mage. I'm merely a poor Antivan boy who knows a little bit of his history, unlike the Shem. And the look Zevran is giving you is decidedly unfriendly now, Aiden.
Verisa has been quiet the whole time. And she kind of makes eye contact with Athson for a moment and says in Elvish, I'd like to speak with you later about a minor thing that you should know about, but more importantly, do you think Aiden is understanding this conversation at the moment? And she's side-eyeing Aiden to seeing how much he understands of what she's saying, because she has never seen a Shem refer to themselves by that term, ever. Even if they're speaking Elvish, they usually refer to themselves as Shemlin, the proper terminology.
Athson will say okay cautiously. And he'll look at Aiden and say, the Alluvians are magic, Aiden. And if my blood helps activate them, that's blood magic, Aiden.
That's semantic.
That's a death sentence, Aiden.
It's only a death sentence, friend, if someone were to A, accuse you of it, or B, if a Templar were to see it, and neither is here. Believe me when I say that I've seen vile blood magic. I've seen the corruption it can cause to one's soul and one's mind. And unlike the Chantry and unlike others, I've no qualms with it if needed, as long as it's not used to harm others. There is great power in the blood. Many of my own poisons use the blood of their own victims. So, at least as far as I'm concerned, I've no problem if anyone did have to use such inherent power in their veins, but I think our new friend isn't quite picking up what you're putting down.
Noted.
Because Zevran knows Elvish, so he understood your conversation, and he's trying to very pointedly get Aiden to also just drop it, but clearly this is not going to work.
Did Aiden have any reaction to Verisa's conversation?
If everything that was just said happened to be said in Elven,
Yes.
throughout the whole conversation, Aiden is just going from time to time,
Like he's actively reacting or faking that he's reacting?
He's just agreeing with everything that's said in Elven, because he doesn't speak Elven.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That makes
Does
sense.
anyone else speak Antivan?
No.
Okay, well, never mind. I was gonna have Zevran say something, but no one else knows Antivan, so that doesn't help. So Zevran is just like, he's chatting with you all, and he's interested in you, Asin, because again, he's seen plenty of other elves, but he does notice your circle robes. He's like, friend, you may want to get rid of those robes.
Yes, I was wearing these when we came out, and haven't had much of a chance to change just yet.
Well, a steward can show you to a tent, and I'll make sure that there's less conspicuous clothing provided for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Does Asin carry a stave or no? A staff?
Yes, he does.
He glances at your staff. Not much to do about that, but at least you won't scream, I'm a circle mage with your clothes.
I can redecorate it, make it look more natural.
Very well. And so you all have dinner. Do you all have any other questions for Zevran, or is this more of a, oh god, let us eat in peace and then go to our tents kind of thing?
Would Zevran have any idea of what's going to happen next? Like,
With Anders?
yeah, or I mean, screw. Bastion is just going to look at him and ask him point blank, what's the next step with Anders? Do you know?
One of two things. Either Fenris will explain what he wanted Anders for to the rest of you, or he'll have to hog tie him and throw him across the horse to take him back to Skyhold. Because I don't think he's capable of actually doing a killing blow. As much as we like to give him a hard time, he's emotionally attached to him, whether he can admit it or not. Because I know Hawk nor Fenris to do what is needed if it comes down to it. That would fall to me. But the precise reason is for Fenris to tell you if he chooses.
Anyone got any whiskey?
Always, Bastion. Here you are. He pulls the flask from out behind her back.
Thank you kindly.
So unless there's any other business, Varisa and Zevran have things to attend to in his tent. If you would like to roleplay to a non-TOS violating level, that's fine, or we can fade to black if you so choose.
Before, she would let him go first, and she would take a moment to pull Athsin aside.
Okay.
And ask him in Elven, are you fluent?
What'd you say? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Are you fluent in? She would ask you, are you fluent in Elven?
Yes.
That is easier to have this conversation in that language, in this language. So, you're going to be mad, and I'm going to tell you why, and then you will give me an opportunity to explain why it was necessary.
That's not how a conversation goes, but I'm willing to listen to what you have to say. You seem to misunderstand. I'm not a companion of yours yet. The
No, I
first
know
thing
you're
you
not.
said was you're not sorry.
No, and I was addressing Mavi at the time. But for this, I am sorry that it had to come to this in this manner. I'm not sorry that I made this decision, but I am sorry that the situation demanded it. I could not let you walk around this place without having somebody at your back who would be aware of what your powers are, to make sure that Fenris did not get very upset with you and cut your head off with his very large sword.
Why would he become upset with me?
Because Fenris spent a very long time subject to a blood mage.
Yes, but why would he be upset with me? He would never know.
That is. I never make that assumption.
What are you apologizing for?
That I had to tell someone that who you were, and it was only Zevran.
You told a secret that was not yours. You understand that makes you as bad as Aiden was just a moment ago.
Hello.
And to say that someone is watching my back, you intentionally put an extra pair of eyes on it.
Yes.
You realize a blood mage is safest when no one is looking at them.
No.
You would not, because you are not a blood mage, so you do not get to make that decision.
That is fair.
It is not about
But I-
fairness, is what I have learned.
No.
I have saved your life, and you have given mine to another.
No.
You realize that? No, you did. Severin would have
No.
no clue. Well, he would have, thanks to Aiden. But that means he knew who I was when we walked in there.
Did he care?
That is not the problem. Someone knew who I was, and I did not know that. And Zevran has made very clear the value of coin.
Yes. It is a very good value to have. Because in the end, the only thing you have is your bow and the coin you can carry. Because we all end up dead sometimes, Athson.
Well, thank you for deciding another factor of my own death without my asking. And he just walks off.
Well, I tried.
And you
can-
failed. And he'll actually probably stop. When your bow breaks and your skin deteriorates, I hope Aiden's there for you.
When my bow breaks and my skin deteriorates, it will be because I'm standing between you and a sword. Just like I will for the others.
Let me die.
Doesn't work that way. Because right now, Atson, you are protected in the same way they are. You should ask Bastion about Harrel and Hawk.
No.
And yes, I will stand in front of you for that.
Right now, I am nothing but a key. And you have decided things for me without asking. If I was a person to speak to, you would have spoken to me. You would have asked my opinion. But all I am to you is a key to get to and where you need to be. You have shown me no kindness. You have shown
No
me
kindness.
no respect.
No
You have
respect.
acknowledged that I am someone that can get you to and where you're from. And you have even said you decide if and when I die. You have given me no choice, Verisa. Am I
Have a
a
good, pleasant night, Athson.
or am I a person?
Enjoy yourself.
Only if you allow me to, Verisa.
Only if the gods allow us all to. We all die in the time. And eventually we will. Have yourself a pleasant night.
And he probably just stands there and then like suspiciously looks at every person around him.
Hello.
Ah. No, Aiden. Announce yourself more.
Would you care for a walk, Atson?
Bastion is gonna come between the two and put his arm around Athson's shoulders and just, let's get you freshened up, sweetheart.
Am I allowed to say no, Aiden? Do I have a choice in this?
Oh, yes, I just thought we could confer among mages.
I just wanted to make sure. I'm not sure anymore.
So Zevran, by the way, had not yet left.
That's fine. Yeah, he could probably hear.
I mean, or he wouldn't have gotten that far. He's an elf. He's got those ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was trying to be quiet, but he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Don't care. And she just walks away.
So he watches Verisa walk away. Then he turns to you, Atson. Like, and in Elvish. Because She did not do that to hurt you.
Intention does not excuse action. You should
I
know
know.
that very well.
I know. I wasn't excusing it. I said nothing about her intent overriding it. I was just merely giving another point of view. I know that you're angry. And if you'll have it, an apology from me.
I appreciate it, Severin. But as your reputation precedes you, I have not known you long enough to know I am not an expendable value to you yet.
Zevran just smirks. He's like, I don't kill just because. I kill when I'm paid to. Or when someone has hurt me deeply. And you've done neither. You've done nothing to me. You've helped them get back. Why would you think I'm looking at you merely as someone expendable?
Because fear has kept me alive this long.
And he sighs because he's just kind of like, my reputation precedes me, right?
Yeah, you're scary as hell.
And he's just like he's not gonna bare his soul in front of strange people
Yeah.
or to an elf he just met, even though he's trying to really like you.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, look, I have no reason to turn you in. I have no reason to share your secret. I was merely stating that Verisa wanted someone who could stop Fenris in case he found out. Because of the people here, I probably have the best chance beside Bull in stopping him. So, for what it's worth, you have the protection of a crow. I
It
will
is
not see you
appreciated.
harmed. So, I hope eventually you can forgive her trespass.
As do I.
And he gives you a dip of the head and wanders off after Verisa. Are any of you doing anything else?
Did you want to take a walk?
Sure.
Bastion, if you do not mind, we will be back.
Uh-huh.
Talking about mage stuff.
Bastion's like a dad.
Like, where you going? Where you taking Aston though? You gonna be back by midnight?
Oh my god.
Damn right.
But you gonna show up with your sword? You gonna be in front of your tent with a sword on your knee? Like, you ain't having back by midnight. What was y'all doing?
Sharpening that glaive.
I think I think everyone kind of going their separate ways is a good stopping point for tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone will be calmer the next time we meet.
I mean, we'll have
and
Mavia.
I don't know. Maybe as you know, you hurt her friends. She's all about that vengeance and keeping pillows from people.
Oh god, that's right. She might be the worst. She might kill somebody.
Look, she's small but powerful.
I mean, she's right there at the knees.
Oh, she is. She's right there at the knees and right in range of certain bits. She can throw bows. But yeah, so the way tonight's going to wrap up is Verisa and Zevran are going to meet up at his tent. We'll pick up there next week. And then after that, we're going to see what Anders' decision is. And I'll decide if it's a roll of the dice or if it's scripted between now and next week. So we'll see. So welcome, Raiders. You got here just in time for us to end. I'm sorry. But with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Simon.
Hello. I'm Aiden. How are you?
Is Simon home?
Aiden reminds me of Eeyore.
Oh my god.
He's not dour enough to be Eeyore.
True.
He's like
No.
Snuffle. He's like Snuffy. He's more like Snuffleupagus.
In the sense that I'm an imaginary friend?
He is not an imaginary friend. Do not take it out on Snuffy.
Hey everyone, thank you for coming. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the donations. Everything. Thank you to all of you watching on YouTube. It's always greatly appreciated to know that we have fans on the other platform. We will be back tomorrow for some Cyberpunk Red with an all-new playlist for music because there were tweets sent out from certain synthwave bands that I really enjoy on Twitter today, so we are allowed to use their music in our stream. So of course, cyberpunk and synthwave in my mind goes like this. So we're gonna have an all-new soundtrack during the game. That said, we're also gonna have giveaways and a bunch of stuff for Cyberpunk Red. Otherwise, we'll be back on Saturday for Black Flag, our Rapscallion campaign, and then back on Monday for Castle Falkenstein, and then another episode of Dragon Age, Thirsty Thursdays on next Thursday. Which, right now, I think we should change it to, like, Suspicious Thursday or something. But that said, let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you on the internet. We'll do the same order as we did the intros. We skipped Bastien for the intro, but you get to say everything at the end. And we'll have a Kelly next week as well. So let's begin with Farissa.
Oh, hey, y'all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre on Twitter or Proxagorth Thesmiaphore, as you see me around on Twitch. And I'll be here tomorrow for Cyberpunk Red, because Trins is totally okay and not going to beat up her ex-boyfriend. What current boyfriend? It's weird. It's complicated. And then I get to run the game on Saturday for Black Flag, and I'm sure everything will be fine. There are no consequences to their actions whatsoever. My players are wonderful, and they make wonderfully sound choices. But other than that, check my Twitter because I just post where I'm going to be, all the fun things I get to do, all the wonderful people, like these beautiful smiling people that I get to hang out with, and I can see next week. Can't come soon enough for me to play with you all again.
Aw.
Up next is Bastien.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew. I get to play Bastien, the Ferelden warrior. And you can find me at Anderful1 on Twitter. And no, I'm not active. I keep promising that I will be more active, and it never happens. Might start something. We'll see. You can find me here on Thursdays, where I will be late, but life is what it is, and I will be here every Thursday all the same. And I'll can't wait to be here next week. I really want to see where this goes.
So do I.
Up next, Athson.
Hello, I am Gabe James Games, playing Athson. You can find me on Mondays on the D&D channel at 1, playing Lost Mind of Phandelver. You can find me here on Thursdays. You can find me Sundays on the Go JG channel this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, playing in a Dark Matter campaign. Excited. There's so much happening.
Is it Conspiracy in the Stars?
Yes, it is.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice.
Was that it, Gabe?
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
much
okay.
it. That's all I could think of.
All right.
Okay.
And Tanya.
Hi, I'm your DM, Tanya DePaston, Cypher Tier Everywhere. For the next 2 Sundays, final 2 episodes of Season 7 of Rivals of Waterdeep. Sundays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central. Thursdays here. And what else am I doing? Oh, and Jasper's Game Day. I'm running a game August 29th. And also, Saturdays on my channel and Gary Witta's channel doing Dungeon Crossing, which is where Dragon Age D&D meets Animal Crossing. And I DM a bunch of brand new players and help them learn how to play the game. And that is also 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central over on my channel and Gary Witta's. We try to squad stream it, or at least both stream live. So one or the other, come and hang out with us and see what shenanigans the Order of the Sunfish has gotten into. We even have a logo now, thanks to our friend Ika. And I think that's it that I can talk about this coming up the next couple of weeks. So yeah, this was fun as always. No one was murdered yet. Yet. But maybe it did fall and hit her head. Kelly, we hope you feel better and you're resting and not awake and watching this, so please go to sleep. So that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you to all of our sponsors, Magen Press, Found Familiar. Thank you to Roll20 and our partners, Level Up Dice. Thank you to everyone who came tonight. We will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.